Hello everyone, welcome to the Way to Work podcast. Today we're joined by the fantastic Harmony Woodington. Welcome to the show, Harmony.
Thank you so much.
We had Richard Gearhart on, but he's lost in cyberspace. Wasn't able to get the audio happening, but that's what happens. It happens to me all the time. All right, Harmony, we're going to play Jeopardy. Let's load up the board. It's just me and you. Let's get the music on. All right, the categories for Harmony: cats and dogs, games, post office, proverbs of death, which is a bit dark, and feet. Now, I don't think it's the kinky style feet fans, but they're the categories: cats and dogs, games, post office, proverbs of death, and feet. What would you like, Harmony?
Cats and dogs.
Cats and dogs. We'll start with 100, I'm assuming. In ancient Egypt, this was the punishment for one who stole or killed, even by accident, a cat. They were very big cat fans in ancient Egypt.
Am I supposed to answer this question?
Yes. What happens if somebody killed or stole a cat, even by accident? What's the punishment?
What is death?
I would imagine is correct. Well done. Yes, they don't mess around in the old days. What would you like next?
Let's go with feet.
Feet for 100. People of this, well, we don't say that anymore. People of this gender are more likely to have bunions.
What is a male?
Well, I reckon it's female, but it is, a woman. Now, I don't know why it's more like, I think it's because of high heels. Not sure. Well, you're still in control, and you're the only contestant. What would you like, Harmony?
Okay, it's hard to read them. So what's the second one?
Games.
Games. Let's go with games.
Let's try games for 100. Before starting out in this game, it usually shouts, "Ready or not, here I come."
What is hide and seek?
Hide and seek's got to be. I know that without even checking. That's correct. Well done, Harmony. What would you like next?
Okay, read me the third and the fourth one again.
Third one is post office. Proverbs of death is the fourth one.
Oh my goodness. Let's go with proverbs of death.
Proverbs of death for 100. Separate proverbs state they don't bite and tell no tales. And it's to do with death. Well, I know one of them.
Tell no tales.
Yeah. Something people tell no tales. It's kind of a mafia thing. As in, they won't snitch. Now,
I don't know this.
the other one, it's got to be what bites. You know, it might be dead dogs don't bite or something like that. I've just given you the answer. Let's take a look. It is dead men. So they're both dead men. Dead men tell no tales. I've definitely heard that. Dead men don't bite. I've not heard that one. I thought it was dog. Anyway.
Yeah, no.
What would you like next?
Let's go with cats and dogs again.
Cats and dogs for 200. Coco, the talking gorilla, named her pet kitten All Ball, probably because it lacked this feature.
All ball because it lacked this feet. Oh my gosh.
Have you heard of this gorilla?
No,
Well,
I haven't.
They taught the gorilla how to do sign language, and it was
Okay.
incredible. It could actually talk and ask for things and say it felt sad or happy. Anyway, they gave it this little kitten, and it was just it would look after the kitten. It just adored the kitten, and then tragically the kitten died eventually, and Coco was very sad. But they called Coco named the kitten All Ball because the cat lacked a tail. That's the answer.
What? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you get the occasional kind of no-tail cat, I guess. I can't imagine it. Who knows? But that was Coco and the cat story. That's a tearjerker, that one. Anyway, what would you like next, Harmony?
Let's go with post office.
Post office for 100. Any issued in the US since 1860 are valid to use on letters.
What are stamps?
Stamps. Haven't used a stamp for ages. That's correct. So any of the old ones, 1861 stamp is still valid. Problem is, you've got to use so many of them now to get a letter sent. And those ones are probably like 1 cent or 1 penny.
Oh, I can only imagine. I don't know. I think most people buy them to collect them nowadays.
Yeah, they're probably worth more not sending, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. What would you like?
Let's go with feet.
Let's go with feet. For the feet fans, the toe most likely to sport an ingrown toenail.
What is the big toe?
The big toe. Now, I reckon it's the next one. No, you're probably right, because I've had one on the the long one.
Yeah.
That's the only one I've ever had an ingrown toenail. But it does make sense because the big one has a real chunky nail. It's a bit gross.
I did pedicures for a decade, so
you know all about it, and you got it correct. Well done, Harmony.
Feet is definitely something that I know after doing as many pedicures as I've done.
Sometimes I put a pair of, we call them thongs, but you call them flip-flops on.
No.
You do, okay. And I haven't unveiled my feet all through winter, and I look down at my big toe, and I'm so embarrassed because I've got these big honking nails on the end of them. It's disgusting. Hasn't happened. Let me check. No, I just did them. I'm all good because we just got spring coming. All right, Harmony. There's the ADD just running wild. What would you like?
Let's go with games.
Games for 200. Popular parlor game, also known as animal, vegetable, or mineral. I've heard of this. I don't know what it is.
What?
Popular animal, vegetable, or mineral. Is it when you kind of act out things and you have to guess what it is? There's a game called...
What is charade?
That's the only one I can think of. Let's take a look. No, it's called 20 Questions. I have heard of it. 20 Questions. I think it was based on a game show in the States from a long time ago. Let's move on. What would you like?
Proverbs of death.
Proverbs of death. Old habits die this way.
Old habits die hard.
Die hard. And that's why they made that movie with that title. Well done, Harmony. You're on fire. You're ahead by 1,000. They're not going to catch you. What would you like next?
Post office.
Post office for 200. Its first digit identifies geographical area, and the fourth and fifth identify the post office.
This is applicable in the States. It would be your, what do they call it? I think they call it an area code. In Canada, it's called a postal code.
Ah, right. So you're in Canada?
Yeah,
right?
So it's different. Yeah, for them it's numbers. For us it's 6, and it's letters and numbers.
Gotcha. Zip code, yeah, area code.
Oh,
and I know that they have those, it's like 90210. 902,
Yep.
How many digits is that?
5. They have 5 digits. We have 6 with letters, and it'll be like letter, and then number, letter, number.
We've only got 4 down here, but probably adding some extra numbers soon.
Probably.
We're filling up, yeah. Well, we still got lots of space if you want to come and live in the outback.
Yeah, but it's like, where do you live though? There's only so many places you want to actually live, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like everyone. It's wonderful on the coast, and then you go in. Well, actually, some people want to go to the outback. Not me. It's horrific. All right. What would you like, Harmony?
Let's go with cats and dogs again.
Cats and dogs. The Pekingese, Chihuahua, and Tonka's pound puppies fall under this classification of dogs. So, Pekingese, Chihuahua, and Tonka's pound puppies. Tonka's pound puppy is not a real dog. The first two are, but they're all got the same class.
What is a toy?
Toy, yes. Do you have one of those dogs, Harmony? Do you have a
No,
dog?
but I had dogs most of my life and studied them because when I'm passionate about something, I have to learn everything about it. So I have all the breeds, cats, their everything memorized.
What type of dog did you favour?
Actually, the Doberman Pinscher. I had a black and tan, and I want to have a red next.
Yeah, they're a pretty exciting dog, and very smart and very loyal. Good guard dogs.
They were actually bred in Britain to protect the street vendors because they were carrying cash all the time and they were selling things. And so the Doberman would stay there to protect them to make sure nobody stole their money.
Oh, right. I always thought they were Germans like Rottweilers and what are the other ones? Alsatians. But that's because I don't know much. All right, Harmony, what would you like next?
Let's go with Proverbs of Death.
Proverbs of Death 300. There are more ways to do this than choking it with cream. Ah. Well, this sounds like a really old-timey one.
The one that I can think of when I hear there's more ways, it would be a cat.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. Except we say, like you said, skin a cat, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what we say.
Yeah. So the US always puts a bit of a weird twist on things. Sorry, American viewers. It's kill a cat. Yeah, so it's the same sort of thing. I'll give you give you that one. So they say with the cream, because often you put cream down for a cat in the old days. These days they don't do it because cats are lactose intolerant a lot of the time. I learnt that the hard way. All right, Harmony.
Silver cream, that's so funny.
All right, we'll do two more and then we'll wrap it up. What was that you wanted?
Let's go with games.
Games for $300. Poker, which uses serial numbers, is often called this. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, what is a poker chip?
Poker chip. No, it's a... Does it say liar? Liar. Dollar poker. Liar poker. I don't know what the heck that's all about. No. All right, we'll do one more question. We'll wrap it up. We've only got one contestant, so we don't want to go on for an hour.
Just go through them all. Yeah. Let's go with feet.
Feet for $300. Pappy's Mountain Liquor or the little bump on his toe. Now, who the heck is Pappy? This is from an old Jeopardy, so Mountain Liquor.
Oh, what? Pappy's Mountain. I have no idea.
No idea either. Let's have a look. What is corn?
Oh my goodness. How am I supposed to get that from that?
I don't know. We don't know who Pappy is. It's probably a TV show that was on in the 80s. That's a shame. Anyway, let's have a round of applause for Harmony. Well done. You got a few of those right. And we learned some interesting information about Harmony as well.
I got more than right and wrong, so clearly my brain's working. Yay.
Yeah, you did well. I think you could have won if we had real people to play against.
Right.
All right, now tell us a bit about what you're up to. You used to be an esthetician, and then how long did you do that for? And then what sort of prompted you to change what you're doing?
So the reason that I became an esthetician in the first place was because I really was lacking self-worth coming out of the dysfunctional home that I came out of. And I didn't strive for more because I truly didn't believe that I was worthy of more. So I didn't go to post-secondary school. I didn't, bother striving for any of those things. Coming from the dysfunctional family that I came from, I think I always desired to help people. But being young and not having anyone that was really guiding me and encouraging me or even believed in me, I didn't know what direction to go in. And I definitely wasn't going to strive, to become a psychologist or a counselor or any of that, just because I truly didn't think I was worthy or smart. I didn't even think I was smart enough to be able to go through the education. I had no belief in myself. So Somebody encouraged me to become a nail technician because I loved playing with my nails and doing nail art since I was a little girl. And then I ended up talking to somebody and they encouraged me to, and this was just friends, right? They encouraged me to become an esthetician because there was a lot more things that you could learn. You don't get bored and you're a lot more employable as an esthetician because of all of your skills. And so I did have this owner of a school who actually had a conversation with me, and she convinced me to get a student loan. And I, again, didn't believe that I was worthy of being invested in. So I didn't even think I would get it. But she helped me go through the application process and I got the student loan. And I remember standing in the school on the first day and I was so grateful to be there. Like I had just won the lottery because my self-worth was so low. And the other people were there just thinking that it was nothing but a thing. But it was a huge accomplishment to go through that school and to go out and get a job. And at the time, I was a single mother of a 5-year-old son as well. And I ended up spending 10 years definitely being a struggling single mother because estheticians don't make a lot of money here in Canada. I know in Australia they do much better because I did meet one when I was about 29 and she already owned a house and was making more than double what I was making. So estheticians do a lot better on the other side. But I did that for about a decade. And then I ended up really discovering that a majority of the people that I was actually doing aesthetics on, that I was giving facials and pedicures and doing all these treatments, there was like inch loss wraps and like all sorts of crazy stuff. And they were all doing what they were doing from a place of self-loathing, trying to feel better by fixing something on the exterior. And I had the desire to want to help them, but I was so insecure and messed up myself. I had no concept of how. And so I ended up kind of putting the wish out there to the universe. And I was too afraid to take the risk because my son was then 12 at the time. And I didn't want him starving because I didn't know how to make ends meet while I was going through school. So I had developed enough self-worth that I knew that I could go through school, but I didn't want my angel to suffer. And then the universe basically kind of solved the problem for me. And I ended up in a massive 4-car accident on my way home. I called my angel to tell him I was going to be home in 5 minutes because I lived really close to work at the time. And I didn't make it home. And that was a life-altering experience. I had to figure out how to survive, even though I had to quit my job. So I had to get creative about how to keep a roof over my head because my family was not capable of supporting me, nor have they really. So I couldn't turn to family to help me keep a roof over my head. And it was in that period of time that I was trying to heal from a severe concussion and other major injuries that I ended up discovering, you know, what it was that my body needed to heal. I ended up healing enough that I became incredibly curious as to what my brain was capable of. And in that period of time, my father also attempted to end his life and ended up in the hospital. And that created a massive existential crisis as a result of some of the things that he said. And so I was then put in a place where I was questioning everything that I was. And I ended up walking a path to really reconcile my own past. And as I was doing that, truly discovered what I wanted to do, which was step into the path of helping other people. And in trying to find resolution for myself, or actually finding resolution for myself, in all sorts of ways that were not the allopathic model. I wasn't able to find resolution with psychologists and counselors because they honor the brain, whereas I was spiritual growing up. I was raised Mormon. And so it put me in a place where I was having like this massive existential crisis, and that wasn't honored in the psychological model. And so I had to look outside of that. And I was kind of, you know, bouncing around all over the place to find the answers that I found. And so I ended up realizing that I needed to specialize in what brought me the resolution that I was looking for, which was hypnotherapy and in energy work. And so I ended up certifying in those modalities and then creating my own program, which I now call the energy integration system. And at first, it was about 3 months in duration, and now it's upwards of a year for a client to go through that process with me. And the intellectual property that has been developed in association with that program has very much been in response to my clients' challenges and struggles and helping them to be able to resolve it. So I've innovated to support my clients getting resolutions. So each one of the clients that goes through my program, they all contribute to it and all absolutely own a piece of this program. And I think that's what makes it so beautiful and so special. It's not something that just came out of my head and I thought that it was going to feed the masses. Each individual that came through helped develop it. And so it absolutely has proof of concept and directly responds to the person. And you are treated as a beautiful, powerful, holistic being, not a mind or a brain to be diagnosed and to be treated with a protocol for the masses.
And what types of people do you work with mostly, Harmony?
By nature, I have always attracted people who are based in logic, that are curious about what is on the outside of logic. And because I stand in a place very much bolstered by science and the work that I do, logical minds come and play with me, being able to grasp onto that. And then they walk on the bridge over to the spiritual and play in that realm with me as their guide and their safety net. And I've always by nature just attracted professionals and entrepreneurs. I've worked with people in all different vocations, from nurses to business owners to people in the military, and people in government. It's really amazing, the scope of vocations that I've actually had the pleasure to be able to work with and support, that end up diving into a whole world that they didn't see coming, but they trust me. So they do, and they expand so much as a result.
Wonderful. And how does it work if somebody wants to get in touch with you and check out what you're doing? So your course, I had it on here. And what happens if somebody wants to check out the EIS system? Do you have a meeting with them?
Yeah, so I do. I have a free call for anybody that wants to just have a conversation with me about what their struggles and challenges are, because it's very important to me to meet a person exactly where they're at so they feel that they're supported in what their current struggles are. And then there are also systems and processes that are implemented. So there is a timeline and structure. I've had many people ask me, do you cater to people's individual problems with what they're dealing with right now, or is there like a program? And usually the answer is yes, because I do both. It is very much helping you resolve what you're currently dealing with and taking you through a process. So I'm meeting you exactly where you're at and supporting you with whatever works for you. So there's a beautiful website that I actually just launched like this week, which is Coaching with Harmony. And that gives you some background testimonials, all the different options for how you can possibly work with me.
Awesome. And so you've created some coursework, and do you also meet online with clients regularly? Is that how it works?
Yeah, so pre-COVID, I only worked with people locally in my treatment room. And then post-COVID, I took my teachings global. So I have clients over across the pond in Australia, in Britain, in the UK, and also here in Canada. If you speak English, then we can work together.
Barely, yeah. Well, that's great, Harmony. And yeah, it's interesting how COVID was the launching pad for, well, it just forced people to adapt because everything just stopped. But a lot of this type of stuff where you're interacting with people. And is the online side of it still as big compared to the physical side? I mean, do you still have more clients? Do you have more clients that you see virtually versus physically?
I only see clients online now
Yeah, you stayed
because,
there. Okay, gotcha.
well, being in Canada, The dollar is not comparable to the euro or the US dollar or even yours. And so for me to reach out and to find clients in those different countries actually is more profitable for me. And I live in one of the top three most expensive places to live. So I'm being very strategic.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, it's just better as well because you don't have to hire a premises or all of that jazz. So you can work with Harmony wherever you are. And if you want to have a chat with Harmony, I've got her details in the show notes. Thank you very much for the wonderful Harmony for joining us. Thank you, Harmony.
Thank you.
Round of applause. All right, the time has flown by, unbelievably so, because Harmony was so interesting. Thanks, Harmony. I'm going to wrap things up. See you next time, everyone. Bye.